Hi everyone, it's the Bitcoin SV bulldozer. So this will just be a quick one. The focus here will just be to say thanks to all the people that donated BSV after my last video. I'm quite humbled by the generosity of the BSV community, and I will say community. I know I've heard Craig Wright say there's no such thing as community, but I think that at some level BSV people are definitely brothers in arms. We've really just stuck it out, right, with this thing, knowing that it's the best. And the thing I'm going to talk about is, so I had another channel, I've talked about this before, that went from 2016 to 2020. And during that time, I basically changed from being focused on BTC, Ethereum, and in particular Litecoin for a while, until the fork with BCH and BSV. And as soon as the fork happened, I was basically drawn into BSV. I was sucked into the vortex of BSV. So I was a real advocate for Litecoin before I came across BSV, and I posted lots of videos about Litecoin and the direction and price videos and the like, and I had my contribution address, my Litecoin contribution address posted on all of those videos, and in that time I did not receive one Litecoin tip. And then when I moved over to BSV, and there was a real excitement in the air, there was a real buzz in the air in late 2018 and through the whole year of 2019 into 2020. There was a whole buzz in the air, and I'd hang out on the Bitcoin SV channels live streams, and people would be just transferring small amounts of BSV back and forth to each other, and I said, new BSV person, and I got a donation of BSV, a contribution of BSV in a heartbeat. I think it was like $1. And that was more than I'd ever received in the whole time I've been supporting Litecoin. And since I've been a BSV, a real Bitcoiner, I've got so many donations. Don't even really like to call them donations, contributions, because I've put in quite a bit of work, and I've also contributed to a lot of people. I've sent a lot of BSV across the network, probably as much as that I've received. But I think that it speaks to something in BSV, in the BSV community, and that is that it's about the technology. I think part of the reason why people aren't scared to send money across is because it's so cheap. And that's the beauty of the BSV network. It's just so dirt cheap. Like, you could send me a cent worth of BSV, I would be so grateful for that. And part of it is that it's so cheap and so immediate, and I just love seeing that. That was what inspired me when I first used Bitcoin full stop in 2016. I was like, oh my God. So I got my Bitcoin, I created an address, got my private key, and I sent it to the address. I sent this Bitcoin to the address. So it was all mathematical. I'm like, what? This is incredible. And in a way, I saw the possibilities with it. That was just incredible. You can have money stored in a number, effectively. And BTC can no longer do this anymore. It can no longer show the beauty of the network. But BSV can, because it's the real Bitcoin. So I'll finally add here that BSV has basically been through the ringer, especially in the last few years with all of these court cases and people leaving and projects like Twitch closing down. It's an interesting thing with Teranode, the launch. It looks like it's up and running, but something just fizzled out. There was a lot of excitement. There were massive blocks in the lead up to Teranode, And then a few weeks before Teranode launched, with no real fanfare, the block sizes just went down to really low. And I wonder if that's actually deliberate. I wonder if they were kind of testing out the network, stress testing it in the lead up to the launch of Teranode, and then sort of pulling back. And maybe something that I said in my Teranode video about watch out kind of is what they knew, or even maybe what I said, that message got across somehow. I don't know. I doubt it, but it could be that they wanted to do it without much fanfare. They wanted to do it in a way where they're not kind of on the scene as such. So, yeah, it's curious. I wonder also if it's possibly one of these examples of sabotaging that's happened. I suspect not. It's really weird. So the blocks are approaching gigabyte blocks, half gigabyte blocks quite regularly, gigabyte blocks occasionally. And then they go to the WEF, which I really didn't like that. Prostrate yourself before the globalists. If they're going to want to use BSV, they're going to want to come to us. That's the way it should be. The power dynamic is wrong. So they go to the WEF, the block sizes diminish incredibly, and then a few weeks later they launch Teranode with very little fanfare. And part of me wants to see them actually using Teranode to its full capacity with these massive blocks and huge amounts of transactions, the way Bitcoin was intended. But maybe they're doing a cautious thing where they just want to seed it into the population and go quietly, and then maybe increase it over time. It'll be interesting. My thought train was that, we've been through the ringer with BSV a lot. And I still think that there's little chance that BSV will actually take over as the de facto world currency. Currency money. I have my own thoughts on this idea of currency money, which I can clarify. Maybe I'll just do it now quickly. So currency is what is current. It's what's being used in the population, right? So money can be currency, but it doesn't have to be. Like gold was currency, but now it's just a store of value. And what we have now is fiat currency, which is the thing that is current, but it's not actually money, because there's nothing backing it. There's no solidity. It's not a store of value, right? So currency is just the thing that's being used. Money can be currency and currency can be money, but neither has to be the case. Anyway, Bitcoin in the form of BSV could be world money or world currency. The possibility of it happening is very low in my opinion, but for BSV holders and the ones that have been in the trenches with BSV and have stuck true to it, I will say I think at some point we're going to see, at least in terms of price, something in the order of a 10x, maybe 20x, maybe even something like 100x. I think it will at least do that for us stalwarts in the space. I don't necessarily think that it'll be the de facto world currency at any point. I don't think it'll ever really take over, but you never know. There is a slight possibility. I'd probably give it a 1% chance or something like that. But at least I give us a strong chance of doing a massive X. And not financial advice, what I will be doing is I will be definitely taking profit if that happens. If we do a 10x, 20x, 100x, I'll be taking profit, guys. You got to look after yourself and not be wedded to your crypto. So that's it for me. Bye for now. While I was editing the audio for this video, I had the thought that perhaps what happened with the WEF wasn't necessarily what we might think. So I even posited this on Twitter, that maybe they were going to the WEF to scope them, to actually see if we present this to them, what will their reaction be? Not necessarily buddying up to the WEF, but more trying to figure them out, right? So they go to the WEF to scope them, and then they see what the reaction is. And then when they come back, They dial it down with the whole hype around Teranode, and basically block sizes get reduced to almost nothing, and then they release Teranode with as little fanfare as possible so as not to draw attention to themselves. So maybe they know a little bit about the globalists. You know, we don't know the inner talk that goes on in the BSV Association and the like. So it's curious, isn't it? What do you guys think? Oh, and it's really great to see that people aren't fooled by the charade, which is Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Man, it's been absolutely insane, hasn't it? Ever since he won the election, it's been absolutely insane. Clown world. Idiocracy, guys. This is it. This is what the movie is showing us. We're entering into idiocracy, people. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Bye.